everybody, it's Amanda at Scrimpingmommy.co.uk. I've got a last minute Christmas card to make, so I thought why not switch on the camera and just craft along, and then if anybody's, wants to watch a bit of YouTube at Christmas, there's something for you to watch. It's actually for my husband, because I've forgotten to go out and buy him a card, so I'm going to make one. Because I'm determined that I'm not going back out now. I've done my shopping, I've done my wrapping, my house is clean, I'm not going anywhere. So I'm going to use the Hearts Come Home, but I'm also going to use something that I've had in my crafty stash for a very long time, and it's not Stampin' Up, and it's this mask here. And I picked it up a very, very long time ago in a craft shop that was shutting down. So you probably can't get this anymore. So I am sorry. However, you can use other stuff. You don't necessarily have to replicate this card. I'm more just crafting for the fun of it. It's Christmas, work's done, so I'm just crafting for fun. Now, as you can see, it's a stencil of the Statue of Liberty, and that's important to me and my husband because we love America. We love New York especially. And we actually had our honeymoon. We got married in Vegas and we had our honeymoon in New York. So, that's why I bought this mask, and I've been waiting to stencil and I've not used it. Now, it's quite a large one, so I'm going to have to go larger than a normal card. And probably make my own envelopes. So, let me have a look. It needs to be, let me see, I would say about 7" high. And then, so this is a sheet of A4, this is Night of Navy. So it needs to be about 7 inches high, so it's far bigger than a standard card. And then I'm just going to fold it in half. So this is just a full A4 sheet. So it's not a standard card size, but it's just something a little bit different, a bit off the cuff. I just thought I'd come on, it's Christmas, I'm free, I've no work to do, and I am going to do a little bit of crafting over Christmas, not work related, but crafting is in my blood. I love it. So if I've got a chance to get in here and have a bit of me time that's not related to work, then I am going to do. So I am going to use the Stampin' Embossing Paste, and let's have a look if that fits, which it does. So let me get some washi tape and stick the fella down, or the lady as it were. I'm going to do it straight onto the Night of Navy. Straight on. I'll just lower that down a bit. Move her over. No, I love that. I might trim the card down actually. May well trim it down a bit because it kind of ends there, doesn't it? Okay, so what I'll do is I'll do my embossing paste, and then I may well just trim it down at the end because the pattern of the stenciling finishes there. So we'll see. See how it goes. As I do these things sometimes, I'm kind of making it up as I go. So we'll see, it might turn out like one of the dogs has jumped on it. So I've got my Stampin' Up embossing paste. I've lost my palette knife, so I'm using an old bone folder. Don't matter, does it? Does the same job. So I'm just going to smooth that on. I'm not adding any colour to this. You can add your Stampin' Up inks to it. The re-inkers, you can drop a few bits in. Whatever you want. Okay. So I'm just going to smooth it out. It's a bit like grout ink tiles. Just pretend you're doing the bathroom tiles. It's the same thing. It's quite fun. I do enjoy using this stuff. And I'm going to have it so it just doesn't necessarily meet the edge of the page. It doesn't have to, so it gives a kind of like it's faded. I know what I mean. Okay. And hopefully it will look nice against that Night of Navy cardstock. And obviously I'm doing a nighttime scene. Well, it might not be obvious, but that's what I'm doing. So I'm just going to go back over and make it a bit thicker. And I want it quite I want it to be, I don't want it to necessarily be smooth, you know, and perfect. Doesn't have to be. I want it quite rugged and almost looking like plaster. So there we go, I've got it covered. Let me just scrape off that excess there because I don't want to waste it. Put that to one side, and then I can carefully remove my washi tape. I'm in shot. Didn't even check if I were in shot then. Don't even know if it's recording. I'm assuming it is. Okay. Right, so just remove that now. Carefully lift it up, and there we go. I think that's fab. Don't like that bit there. Take that off. And I will cut it down, yes I will. But that, we've got a lovely image of the Statue of Liberty there. Let me scrape that off because I'm not wasting it. I've not made of money. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the Santa flying across the sky and some of the sparkles and the moon. Now, I've already mounted them, and I've mounted the moon facing that way. We've had this debate before. I'm not quite sure which way the moon should go, so I'm just going to do it. And if it's wrong, it's wrong. I'm not going to worry about it. Okay. So, lots of lovely Versamark. We'll have the moon just there. And then I'm going to have Santa and in his sleigh flying over the Statue of Liberty, which then turns my non-Christmassy mask or stencil into a Christmas card. I did want him, okay, so he's flying away from the moon. It's as simple as that. It's going to have to be. Moon's behind him. Okay. Give that a nice press. Okay. So now I can come in with my, what have I got? I've got clear, I don't want clear, I want white. I've picked the wrong one up. There we go, white. I want white embossing powder so that it shows on the night of navy background. So let's sprinkle that on, but I don't want it on the embossing paste. Just over. Just take that off. Don't want that bit on. And then just add some heat to it and we're good to go. Let's have a look. Let's get that nice and hot. Okay, that looks pretty cool. So I'm just going to trim it down slightly, but I don't want to chop the reindeers off. So what I might need to do is chop it down, and then I might need to just extend that, oops, that paste freehand so that it looks correct. Right, let's get that up against the lip. And I reckon we can cut to there without chopping any of the reindeers off. So I'll just chop that down. And that has cut some of it off. Doesn't cut through both layers for some reason. I'll do that again. That's better. Okay. So now I need to just I'm going to have to extend this masking somehow freehand. Let's have a look what we can do. So if I put it back on like that, and then just go and extend it slightly. I think my embossing paste is drying out a bit. I need to, but you can revive it if it starts to dry out by adding a bit of water. There we go. So that will have extended that line of the embossing paste to the edge, which it has. There we go. And I have a very simple, quick and easy New York themed Christmas card for my husband. I will cut a, you know, a white cardstock layer for inside for me to write on. And I think that's really rather cool. I hope you enjoyed that. A little bit of crafting with me for no particular reason other than because I can. I've got free time. There might be some more over Christmas if I'm lucky. I hope so. Have a fantastic Christmas and I'll see you soon. Bye.